welcome to Simps Not So Anonymous. Thank you for joining us in our fight against the simp pandemic that is spreading throughout our great nation. This highly infectious disease that is making men weak and our women less submissive, destroying our families and causing our communities to fall into chaos. Today's simp tale is not fiction. These stories are based on actual events of a simp simping. The names will be changed to protect the innocent, but let's learn together, let's build together, let's fix this problem together. Fix it. You don't have to stay a simp. You just have to recognize you are and do what it takes to change it. You can be a man. If you've got an XY chromosome, you're a man and you're going to get there. Man, or you know what? Even if you're a transgender man trying to lead your relationship, realize that as the leader of a relationship, you need to be strong. You need to stand up. You don't get to be emotional. You don't get to abuse other people around you. You don't get to treat other people like crap because you're having a bad day. To lead a household as a man, no matter what you are, you have to be strong, you have to set your boundaries, and you have to recognize other people's boundaries and don't cross them. Don't mistreat them. Because we all know that in our relationships, there's typically one person that gets extra emotional, that takes what you said the wrong way. If they can take it the wrong way, they will. But you need to let them know that that's unacceptable. That's not what you said. Not even close to what you meant. You need to stand up for yourself and don't let yourself be mistreated. Explain yourself. Talk about it. Make sure they understand that's not what you meant. And if it's constant, if they're never going to see you, if they're never going to recognize how you are, or that you don't mean disrespect, you might need to move on. You might. But you should try first. You need to try to fix it first. You need to try to explain yourself first. If you're going to lead your relationship, you're going to lead your household, you got to be clear about it. You got to have boundaries, and you got to make sure that they respect you for what you do for them, and make sure that you show the appreciation for what they do for you. I'm going to share a personal story again. We'll do a hypothetical. Let's just say that you're working 2 jobs. Let's just say that you're young enough, you're working 2 jobs. Your bills aren't bad, so you're working 2 minimum wage jobs, so everything's fine. And maybe you're not working a minimum wage job. Maybe you're making a good living at one job, but you're trying to save up that extra money for vacations. That's what this particular person was trying to do, hypothetically. Saving up extra money, trying to put money together for retirement, trying to make it to where you had a good life, paying for the vehicles, paying for whatever you had to. In this hypothetical situation, that's what you're doing. And let's say you have 1 day off a week, only 1 day off a week. And on your 1 day off a week, the woman you love chooses that day to go someplace else. On a regular basis, chooses that 1 day to go out with her friends, chooses that 1 day to go see her family, chooses your 1 day off. They're not working in this hypothetical situation. They are a stay-at-home girlfriend, spouse, whatever, with no kids in this hypothetical situation. But on your 1 day off, they're busy. They're not around you. So on your 1 day off, you get to sit home, you relax, you watch TV, and you're fine. You're fine. You understand that they need to have a life. They need to get outside of the house. But what happens come Monday morning? You are berated. You are scolded for never being home. I get that I'm not home. Or, I'm sorry, in this hypothetical situation, you get that you're not home. You understand that you're not home. You have a plan in place that you've both discussed, but for some reason, them not being there on your 1 day off isn't the issue. The issue is the other 6 days a week is you're working. You're too busy. Now, you're still home sometimes. 2 jobs is only 16 hours a day. There's still 8 hours, and you don't sleep much anyway. But what happens when you get home after that second job? Are they there? Do they take care of you? Do they feed you? No. What they do is they bitch at you. And on top of that, for some reason, they have to wait all the way until you get home to vacuum in front of the television. Why is that? You go to sit down in front of the television, and this is when they decide it's time to run the vacuum. Now, here's the thing about that. You don't care. In this hypothetical situation, you don't even give a shit that we've waited all the way until 10 o'clock at night to vacuum because it doesn't bother us. All we do is turn up the television because we're relaxing. It doesn't bother us that there's some extra noise. We're used to that. It's been going on for a while, but you turn up the television. And now that you've turned the television, now you're scolded for turning up the television. Why, oh why are you first of all going to wait until 10 o'clock at night when I got home, 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock? I don't care if you only work one job and you're getting home at 4:30 in the afternoon, and that's when they choose to bring out the vacuum when they don't have a job. If that's all they have to do, you can go ahead and vacuum while I'm not here. And when I get home and I want to turn on the TV and relax and try to forget about my day, I can have that space. That should be my space at that time. If you don't have a job, if you're not working, that should be my space at that time. But it's not. And you didn't care. But what you cared about was being scolded for it. What you cared about was being mistreated for it. But instead of standing up for yourself, instead of saying, hey, you're being ridiculous, you shouldn't even be vacuuming right now, you had all day. Instead, what you do is like, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to go to my room. I'm going to go in my room. I'm going to watch my cell phone. I'm going to stream something on my cell phone rather than stand up for myself. You know why? Because you're a fucking simp. Men, stand up for yourself. There's a good chance that what she really wanted was your attention and you weren't giving it to her, but she didn't ask you for it because you haven't showed her that you deserve it. You haven't explained to her that you're not going to put up with the mistreatment. You may have said it once or twice, but you're a simp, so you keep going back. You just keep shutting down because you don't want to deal with it. Stand up for yourself every time. Hey, this is an inappropriate time for you to run that vacuum. You had all day. It's my time to watch my television. If you want to join me, if you missed me, please join me on the couch. If you want to talk about your day, I'm probably not going to pay really close attention because I'm pretty wore out, but feel free to sit next to me and tell me about it. Or why don't you go ahead, go grab me a beer, come sit down next to me, let me know you really need to talk to me, and let's talk. But don't be upset if I play a game on my phone while I listen to you. You don't get to be upset if I continue to play a video game, if I can still understand you, if I can still pay attention to you, if I turn the volume off of my video game and I listen to you, and I hear you, and I respond to you. You don't get to be pissed about the fact that I'm playing that video game because I need some release too. And I might not want to talk to you about my job because it's a fucking terrible day. But I need some release too. And as long as I am paying attention to you, as long as you can hear me and I can hear you and I can respond to you, I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't have to do it your way to love you. I can love you. I can pay attention to you, and I can still do something that gives me some relief too. Simp, stand up for yourself. If today's story seems familiar to you, or you have a similar story, the bad news is you're a simp. The good news is being a simp is 100% curable. All you have to do is recognize that you have a problem and make the decision to change. I'd like to conclude today with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Simps, toughen up. I'll see you on the next one.